in a broken household.
Yeah.
All right, so hold on, give me a second. So you said you got 2 kids,
I
two
got three
baby
kids.
moms. You about to get married again.
I never been married. I got 3 kids, 3 baby moms.
Whoa. I thought you
Fucking
said
crazy.
two.
Okay, so all
No,
right,
I had 2 daughters. I got a son though.
all right. So
Oh, okay.
let me back up for a second. Let me back up
Let
for a
me
second.
see.
What do you mean by your sister see the type of guy that you are?
So they see my character.
What does that mean?
They see my character. They see what I stand for. They see the type of father I am.
Like what? Like what makes you the person they should follow? Because if you got 3 baby mamas, why would they
Mhm.
honestly? Why would they take
Yeah.
advice from you on how to bet for a man when you got 3 different baby mamas?
I mean, well, they could look at my past mistakes when I was younger and I didn't have sense, and they could use that if they want to, or they can use what I am now, who I am now, my success in life. Not just I've been able to with no real education. I'm a one
Well, your
professional.
success doesn't equate to actually being a good person, a good man.
Well, just different things. I think everything plays a part in that.
Like what?
Like like the type of like my successful one is one thing, right? That's one area. Me as a father, right? The things that I
You
do.
got
That
you got 3 baby mamas.
hmm
You don't think that's crazy?
yeah, I do think it's not ideal at all.
No, do
I
you
think
think it's crazy though?
yeah.
So why would they look to you for inspiration?
So I
Why would they be
understand.
in? It sounds like they look to you for inspiration
Yeah.
already.
So I completely understand the stereotypical and the reality of the situation, right? The stereotypical, like most men, I would tell my daughters, if a man have 3 baby mamas, stay away from him. I'm the exception.
So why would they
I'm
look
the
to you?
exception
Not
for
the
almost every
exception.
rule. I
What
am.
made you okay? What makes you the exception?
Um, for one, I'm with a woman. I've never cheated on a woman. I'll never cheat on my woman.
That has nothing to do with it.
I think that's an exception.
No, it's
I think
not.
I think most men cheat. I think a lot of men cheat. I
This
don't.
has nothing to do with creating 3 baby mamas.
So your perspective is that you have 3 baby mamas, right? You have 3 baby mamas, so that makes you a bad man, or that just makes you not a good man.
I don't think that
So I
makes you a
understand your
great. No, no,
position.
no, no, no. I'm not saying. I never said you wasn't a good person. I said
Yeah,
that you are not the model of inspiration that your sister should be looking to.
yeah. So I disagree.
Okay, so now that's where we clash, right? Because I'm trying to
Yeah,
understand what makes you the source of inspiration for them betting for what a good man is supposed to be. Why would they look to you
yeah.
if you got 3
So
different baby
so
mamas?
if the idea, so we inherently disagree on what a good man is.
No, no,
I
no.
do.
I didn't
Yeah,
say. Listen, listen. I said the source of inspiration of
yeah,
what a good man is to be in a relationship with. You
yeah,
could be a good person. I'm not attacking your character.
yeah,
I'm just evaluating the information that you volunteered. Why
yeah.
would they look to you when you haven't committed to any one of them women as
hmm
far as staying with them and you decided to have kids with them?
Yeah. So your question is, why would they look to me for inspiration as far as a relationship?
Yeah, because you use yourself as an example.
Yeah.
You said my sisters don't
So
look to me at all.
I think that um my kids are the caveat, but most women would look for the characteristics that I have for a man in a relationship.
Like
Mm.
what?
Like I'm a romantic man. I think most women like romantic men. I'm a provider. I don't have to answer. You can tell me what you're thinking.
No, I'm listening.
Okay.
Listen.
So we're
I'm a
gonna yeah.
very animated person. What does
Oh, I'm
being
sorry. Yeah.
romantic is what got you 3 baby mamas?
No, that's not what got me three baby mamas. Being with women and
Pull out game
not
didn't work.
yeah, not pulling out got me 3 baby mamas. So
Okay, go ahead. You're romantic.
yeah, so I'm romantic. I'm successful. I pay the bills. I pay all the bills. I pay for everything. I'm a leader. Uh, all of these things. I'm a leader. I communicate well. I'm articulate. I articulate myself. Um, I these are I think key traits when it comes to being a leader, being being in a relationship. These type of things.
Mm.
And I would
So do
love
you
to
plan
hear.
on having kids with the next one?
Yeah,
So you're gonna be a 4-time baby daddy.
I guess you could say that. But when I'm married,
You don't think that that's crazy?
not at all.
All
I
right,
think
that's
so.
cool.
I understand, and I would tell I would tell any man to have babies once you're married. So if
But
that's
you
the
didn't marry none
position,
of the mothers.
Yeah, I didn't
See
marry them.
that no, but see that's the problem is that honestly, honestly, I don't think that you qualify to be able to give that type of advice. I think that any one of us can give our opinion, but I don't think that you're a reflection of it.
Hmm.
You don't qualify, in my opinion, to be able to give advice to young men about how they should be moving when it comes to marriage and relationships.
I completely disagree.
Mm.
Why do you disagree?
So I understand that people make decisions, right? People make poor decisions when they don't have certain when they like where I come from. Most people aren't married. Most people aren't married. Everybody's a baby mom. Everybody's a baby father. It's just like people will call their boyfriend, oh, that's my baby dad, right? You be like, why didn't you say that's your man? That's my baby dad, right? They'll say things like that. That's where I come from. So that was the examples that I had in my life. I think that I'm lucky that I was able to, even though those are my examples, I'm able to um step away from that. And that's not the lifestyle that I want for my kids. It's not what I would do if I went back, but it is what it is. I have all my kids, I got 3 baby moms. All my kids go to school with me. Monday through Sunday through Friday, they with me. They go to see their
So
moms on the
why
weekends. And
didn't
that's
you
not
want to
good or
make it
bad.
work with the mother of
That's
your
he's
kids,
back.
bro? Why you want
Say
to
it
make it
again.
work with why you didn't want to make it work with none of the mothers of your kids, and why you think it should be cool for your new lady to take on that pressure for 3 women that got to be in your life forever?
I don't think that's the decision that she make. I can't make a decision for her. But if
But
you're
you
gonna,
still
if a,
you coming to her though. You want to put her in marriage, so you making a
I'm
decision to make her your wife. So why would you want to bring
yeah,
her into that
No,
world
no,
knowing
no,
you
no,
got
no. The problem is, and
I,
see, this is why I hate myself. I'm gonna bring it back. All right. This is why I hate myself because I remember everything. And one of the things that you said about Travis Hunter is that, you know, he was going to be a real nigga. And you said that at some point he was going to have to grow up and learn how to be a leader.
yeah,
Now, I don't know how you can say that about Travis Hunter when your life doesn't seem to be a reflection of what leadership is really about. It
I
sounds
disagree.
like you never had control of any of the circumstances, let alone the dig discipline necessary to foster a great family environment that is ideal for your children.
I
I don't
disagree.
understand how you was able to say that about Travis Hunter, but then at the same time, your life is not a reflection of that yourself.
So so the position that everybody's taking, I think, right, is that if somebody has done something when they're in their youth, before they knew better, right, before they had a certain amount of discipline, that dictates the remain the that dictates their character right now. Or
Yes,
is that I disagree.
I don't disagree because you are the sum total of your decisions. And so the
Yeah.
only thing that we have to go by as men is the results. We
Okay.
can't go by how you feel. We can't go by a short amount of time. We have to go by the history of who you are. And that's why vetting is really looking at, see, it's a difference if you 20 years old. Because again, and I say this all the time, you're supposed to be broke. You don't have any life experiences. You trying to figure it out. But when you start to get into your late 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, you evaluate a person based off of what their results is. So I can't go by anything other than what it is that I'm looking at, not what you say.
Yeah.
You spit a good game. That's probably why you got 3 baby mamas. You spit good
Yeah.
game, but that don't necessarily mean that the
So
results is a
I,
reflection of it.
I judge a man by his children and how they come out.
I
Mm.
That's
don't
how I
judge a
judge.
man by his decision making
See,
and who he surround himself by.
yeah. So the reason I disagree with y'all because I understand that the ideal household is mom, dad, children, married. I understand that and I agree with that. That's my position. I won't have any more kids until I'm married. But I do believe that, like I said, if you knew better, you do better. People are going to copy what's around them. That's going to be the lifestyle that people live, and that's what
Mm.
they know. That's what they know. But I completely disagree that. So, and it's a lot of women who might be in my position who they got several baby daddies or whatever, and I understand why a man would choose not to date them, right? And I understand why a woman would choose not to date me. Um, but when it when I don't, I believe that people's mindsets can change, and I would never. of course, I would. A lot of people are the same, but I would never say that somebody's mindset has not changed. They haven't changed. A woman who used to be a whore is still a whore. I would never say that. Most of them probably still are, right? They probably have the same mindset.
How do
So I'm
we know
saying,
she's
cool,
not
bro.
still a whore, though, is my point. Because she could
So
change, right? She
I'm
could
just talking about
absolutely be
mindset
different
wise.
and people could evolve. But how do we know that
Yeah.
she's not still a whore?
I'm talking about character. I'm
How
talking
do
about
we know
character.
that? The only thing we have to go off is the
Yeah.
results. How do we know
So
that she's not still a
yeah,
whore?
I understand what you're saying, but I think that's an oversimplification. I really do.
How? But you still not answering the question.
How do we know that
How
she
do
still
we
is?
know that she's not still a whore?
Well, we never know for sure.
So how does that not apply to you?
How does what not apply to me?
The
That I'm
same,
not
the
still
same standards. How do we know? How do people know when they vet, right? Because the original
Yeah.
conversation is why people ain't taking advice from you, why your sisters ain't leaning to you for understanding.
Yeah.
How do they know that you're not the same person that you were when you created all of these broken families?
By the way that I talk different. I'm different. Everything about
Because
me
you
is different.
talk different.
Everything about me is different. My actions, the way I treat my kids, the way all of that type of stuff.
You could
I
treat your
think
kids phenomenal. It doesn't mean
Yeah.
that you operate any differently.
Yeah. Well,
I'm just saying
I
that
operated completely differently back then.
the results I think speaks greater And again,
Yeah.
I'm not saying that you're not a good person.
Yeah.
I don't want that to be misunderstood. I don't want people to take that the wrong way. All I'm saying is if the resume doesn't necessarily line up with what the person is saying in their interview, should you hire them?
That's a complete oversimplification though.
How?
And I'm one of them
That's
people
all
that
we
don't
have
really
to go
I don't
by. The only thing
I'm
we
one
have
of
to go by.
Yeah, so I'm one of them people that don't even fully believe in resumes fully.
Really?
Yeah.
How you
So
gonna do the job?
I'll conceptualize that for you, right? So a lot of
Okay.
people say that Kamala's overqualified to be the president, right? Because of what it says on paper. And I understand that perspective, but I think it's an oversimplification, and I think it sounds crazy. And when people with resumes, people play this game of like, okay, I went and I took this program. Let me add that to my resume. I worked here and I went for this program for the military and I did this. You can play with a resume. And you can put things on. And a lot of people do that, and they use that to justify things. If I'm in an interview and I'm talking to you, that's what I care about. You can show me a piece of paper, right? Put that down, Kamala. Let's have a conversation, right? Show me that you're fit to be a leader. Show me that you're fit to be president. That's what I care about. So that's kind of like my position on the resume.
Actually, they both should line up because that's why the black community get finessed and get scammed so much is because there are people that can talk a good game, but their resume don't necessarily back it up. It's a lot of people that can convince people of a lot of things. And that's why the black church is in shambles. That's why people like Jay Morrison exist.
Yeah.
That's why you see people in the community get scammed all the time because people talk a good game. But very few people, you have to have both. You have to be able to communicate effectively what you've done in the past, while at the same time being able to back it up with the results. The resume is to get you in the door. The interview is to sell you on a job. But if you don't qualify and if you haven't been through it or you don't have the stats to back it up, you may be able to talk a good game, but that don't necessarily mean that translates into the job that you interviewing for. No?
I think his service froze.
He might be frozen. I think he's frozen. I don't know. I mean, listen, I have to be equal across the board.
Right.
I have to be equal across the board. The same way that I ask questions of women. And, he hasn't met me with any hostility or nothing. So I'm never going to like disrespect him or call him out of his name. But I don't know how y'all just let that fly and y'all don't ask that question.
No, women are crucified for not being married and being a single mom, like absolutely crucified. And it's not even anywhere close to where men are seen as, it's mama's babies, daddy's babies across the board. And it's really sad because it takes two.
I think when it comes to that leadership word, to me, I think of like, are you really a leader when you had 3 different baby mamas, right? Like, to me, that's like just irresponsible, right? So I wouldn't see that as having a leadership quality in your past. Like I think that matters. Like you're three. It's not even one mistake. It's three, right? But then he also has. It's about to be four, but he also has full custody. So for you to get full custody of your kids, did you like who were you fucking to where they give up full custody? Because it's very rare women get full custody. So I think about stuff like that because mostly it's women that have full custody. So
I'm not saying that he's a bad person.
No,
I didn't say that at all.
He's a bad person. He's just a decision maker.
I don't think that he's a bad person. He seemed like a cool dude. There he is. When he come back. Hold on, I'll pull him yet.